Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we make sense of corporate mumbo jumbo, this time with a company that seems to be betting its future on fancy designs. Are they geniuses or just spending money on the equivalent of a chrome bumper on a Ford Pinto? We are going to have a closer look in this video, but before we begin, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you are subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below. Come chat with us. Today we are diving into Forward Industries' S1 OST filing, which is like a sneak peek at their plans to sell more stock. This document is all about letting a specific investor, CMC Capital, resell shares they might buy from Forward Industries. Think of it as setting the stage for a possible future transaction. Let's break down what this means. First off, this prospectus is still a work in progress. The date is June 17th, 2025, but things could change before it's finalized. The main point is that Forward Industries is allowing CF Capital Master Fund, the selling stockholder, to potentially resell up to 73,000 shares of their common stock. These shares come from a deal they made back in May, where Forward Industries set up an equity line of credit. It's like a credit card, but instead of borrowing cash, they can sell shares to CFCU Capital if they choose to. There are some rules they have to follow. For example, they can't issue too many shares to CME Capital without getting approval from their other stockholders. Also, the price CF Capital pays has to be at a certain level to avoid hitting that limit. Basically, nobody wants Forward Industries to just give away all their stock to one investor without getting fair value. Here's a key point. Forward Industries isn't actually selling any stock in this offering. It's CMS Capital who might have bought shares already or might buy them in the future. That's looking to resell them. So Forward Industries won't get any money directly from these sales. They might get money later if they decide to sell more shares to CF Capital using that credit line we talked about. Like any investment, this one comes with risks and it's something you should pay close attention to. Let's go over some of the big ones. First, there's no way to know exactly how many shares Forward Industries will sell to CME Capital or how much money they'll get. It all depends on market conditions. In other words, if the stock isn't doing well, Forward Industries might not want to sell many shares. This means they might not get the full $35 million they were hoping for from this arrangement, and you are not guaranteed any results whatsoever. Also, CM Capital will be buying the stock at a discount. This could cause the price of Forward Industries stock to go down because CM Capital could sell their shares right away to lock in a profit, increasing the offer and as a result decreasing the price. Nobody wants to see their investment lose value. Because of the way this deal is structured, some investors might pay different prices for the stock than others. If Forward Industries sells shares to CM Capital at a lower price in the future, that could hurt investors who bought earlier at a higher price. It's like buying something on sale after paying full price yesterday. You are not happy. If Forward Industries can't get enough money from CM Capital or from other sources, they might not be able to pay their bills. That's obviously a bad sign for any company. There's also a warning from the auditors about whether Forward Industries can continue as a going concern. This means there's some doubt about whether they'll be able to stay in business over the next year. That's a pretty serious red flag. Finally, like any stock, Forward Industries stock price could go up and down a lot for reasons that are hard to predict. So how does this whole committed equity financing thing work? It all comes down to the agreement with CM Capital. Forward Industries can choose to sell shares to them over a certain period of time if the deal goes through. When the stock price is above $1, Forward Industries has the option to direct CMC Capital to buy a set amount of shares. The price CM Capital pays is based on a discount from the market price. They also agreed to issue more shares to purchaser as commitment shares, and the company agreed to immediately issue to the purchaser 24,929 shares of common stock as commitment shares, and the company agreed to immediately issue to the purchaser 24,929 shares of common stock as commitment shares, and the company agreed to immediately issue to the purchaser 24,929 shares of common stock as commitment shares, and thereafter an amount of shares equal to 1% of the available amount, which shall be issued in a prorated fashion simultaneously with the delivery of any and all purchased shares purchased under the ELOC agreement. If Forward Industries issues new securities at a lower price than what CM Capital is paying, the price CM Capital pays gets adjusted downwards. Nobody likes getting stuck paying full price when there's a sale right after. Here's a table showing how much money Forward Industries could get from selling shares to CME Capital, depending on the stock price. If the purchase price per share were $1, total proceeds from the sale of the purchased shares to the selling stockholder would be only $245,571. On the other hand, at $10, that number would get to $2,400, would be only $2,571. On the other hand, at $10, that number would get to $2,455.71. If Forward Industries does get any money from CMC Capital, they plan to use it for working capital and general corporate purposes. That's a pretty broad description. Now let's talk about who's doing the selling. This prospectus covers the possible resale of shares by CMC Capital. They might sell all their shares, some of them, or none at all. It's up to them. The table shows how many shares CM Capital owns and how many they might offer for sale. For CF Capital Master Fund LP to have sold number of shares of common stock owned after offering 0 if they sell all shares being offered pursuant to this prospectus, Forward Industries is authorized to issue 40 million shares of common stock and 4 million shares of preferred stock. Each share of common stock gets 1 vote. If the company gets liquidated, common stock holders get their share of whatever's left after everyone else gets paid. As of June 9, 2025, there were about 1.1 million shares of common stock outstanding. Now, let's size these findings up and let's be real. Forward Industries is walking a tightrope. The arrangement with CM's Capital could provide needed funds, but it also carries significant risks. The going concern warning from the auditors is particularly concerning, highlighting potential financial instability. While the company talks about innovative designs, it needs cash to fuel it. You find out whether Forward Industries can effectively navigate these challenges and capitalize on its expertise remains to be seen. The dilutive effects of the CMF Capital deal could weigh on existing shareholders, but if the company can turn its innovative solutions into real revenue, it might just pull through. Alright, that's our breakdown of Forward Industries' latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. And do not forget to check out our Discord server. Thanks for watching, see you next time.